There are villages in Kent that are pretty, and there is Chiddingstone. In 1939, the National Trust acquired almost the entire village centre, including the houses, shops and the pub, to protect it from modern development. The result is arguably one of the most complete surviving Tudor streets in England. There are no neon signs, no chain stores, and virtually no modern intrusions. Much of the village looks remarkably similar to how it would have appeared centuries ago. Behind the high street sits a vast sandstone outcrop known as the Chiding stone. Local legend suggests that in medieval times wrongdoers were brought here to be publicly rebuked, or chided. The stone is widely believed to have given the village its name and remains in place today as a reminder of a very different era. Living in Chiddingstone often feels like living on a film set, and sometimes it quite literally is. The village has featured in productions such as A Room with a View and The Wind in the Willows. There is, however, an important caveat. Because the National Trust owns most of the historic village core, opportunities to buy property within the centre are extremely limited. As a result, many residents live in the surrounding parish or in nearby Chiddingstone Causeway. So, is it worth holding out for a property here? Let's break down the reality of the Chiddingstone lifestyle, from school catchments and commuting options to how house prices compare with neighbouring villages. Welcome to one of the most exclusive villages in Kent. Chiddingstone is Old England at its finest. Life here moves at a slower pace. The village centre is essentially a single street with enormous character. The Castle Inn, a 15th century pub, acts as the social heart of the community, particularly in the summer months when walkers and locals fill the garden. Nearby, the Tulip Tree Tea Room, also dating back to the 15th century, is often cited as one of the oldest continuously operating shops in the country. Then there is Chiddingstone Castle, which hosts events such as an annual literary festival and offers grounds that feel more like a shared village asset than a commercial attraction. On sunny weekends, the high street becomes busy with visitors. If you live in the centre, you are very much part of the scene. For buyers prioritising privacy and day-to-day practicality, properties on the outskirts of the village or in Chiddingstone Causeway, around 2 miles away, tend to be more appealing. Chiddingstone feels deliberately remote, but how practical is it for London commuters? One option is Penshurst Station, a small rural station with limited services where journey times to London Bridge are typically around 50 minutes. Parking is over £5 daily, but availability can be constrained. The far more popular option is Hildenborough Station. Most regular commuters drive around 10 minutes to reach it. Journey times to London Bridge are approximately 32 minutes, with frequent and reliable services. Daily parking cost is over £8. In practical terms, living in Chiddingstone usually means being a 2-car household. Using the most recent available property price data, adjusted for variations in house type and size, we have benchmarked average residential values across 3 historic Kent villages: Chiddingstone, Penshurst and Hever. Taking Chiddingstone as the baseline, Penshurst, another historic Wealden village that is marginally larger and generally more practical for everyday living, has average property prices around 15% lower than Chiddingstone. This relative affordability reflects a broader housing mix and a slightly less conservation-led character, despite its own strong heritage appeal. Hever, the neighbouring village best known for its association with Anne Boleyn and Hever Castle, sits firmly at the top of the local market. Average property prices are approximately 75% higher than Chiddingstone, reflecting larger plot sizes, access to leisure amenities, and sustained demand linked to its high-profile historic setting. One of Chiddingstone's strongest draws is Chiddingstone Primary School, which has a long-standing reputation for strong academic outcomes and is consistently well regarded by inspectors. It is small, village-based and heavily oversubscribed. For secondary education, the village sits within reach of highly regarded grammar schools in Tonbridge and Tunbridge Wells, including Judd, Skinner's, Tunbridge Grammar School and Weald of Kent. From an education standpoint, this is one of the most advantageous village locations in the county. If you need a supermarket on your doorstep and a 5-minute walk to a station, Chiddingstone is unlikely to be the right fit. But if you want to live somewhere the National Trust actively chose to preserve, if you want your children growing up surrounded by countryside rather than traffic, and if you want access to some of the best schools in Kent without living in a busy town, Chiddingstone offers something genuinely rare. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this video useful. Help me create more videos like this by hitting subscribe.